Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. I want you to do me a favor. Yeah, sure. I want you to hit me as hard as you can. What? I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
Eagles Fight Club.
What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, the channel donations, the Patreon, the Venmo. We working. Now I'm back as Ego Durden with the Boxingego Fight Club. I want you to hit me as hard as you can. And this weekend we have some good fights, and I'm trying to make sure we have the Fight Club covered, right? Now, I want to talk in this video about Shawn Porter versus Adrian Granados. I think this is a great addition to the Wilder Stiverne 2 card. I will be covering the card. I'm gonna leave for New York soon. I'm gonna miss the media day, but I'll be there for the rest of the fight week. And it's just overall a good fight. And I want to open up the discussion. I want you guys to drop your fight predictions on this terrific matchup between Shawn Porter. Now, first of all, shout out to both combatants, both warriors. Shawn Porter, to me, he really didn't have to take this fight. He didn't have to take the fight because he is in line to get a big name. You know what I mean? He had a close fight with Keith Thurman. And, you know what I mean, no one's really dogged him in a fight. The Kell Brook fight, he lost, but I think it was a split decision, things like that. So he's trying to gun for Danny Garcia, Eliminator. The WBC said they're going to order it. He wants Keith Thurman. You know what I mean? He's looking for a big name. So he was supposed to be on the Mayweather-McGregor card, but that fight, he had a situation, death in the family. That fight got taken out. So realistically, he didn't have to fight. And then same thing for Granados. Granados, he continually risks it, fighting the Broners of the world, the Mirror Moms, being flexible as far as what weight he could fight at. Even in the Broner fight, I think they were supposed to fight at 140 to 142-ish, and then Broner says he was sick in camp, and as a result, they moved it to a welterweight contest. And I covered that fight. That was in February. He did well, and he pushed Broner for a very competitive fight. So he's all the way game. He's from Chicago. Chicago got a lot of wild parts, a lot of dangerous parts, and I just like the temperament of both fighters. So salute to both warriors. For my Boxingego Fight Club prediction, I am picking Shawn Porter. I think Shawn Porter is gonna pull it out. Just to give you guys some reasons why I would favor Porter, and it's not just because I know Shawn Porter, because I covered Granados' last fight and he was a cool dude too. You know what I mean? But I've seen Porter in camp for this particular fight, and his conditioning is ridiculous. 2-a-days and just different things like that. And I think ultimately, Granados could push Shawn Porter and make for some tough, compelling rounds, things like that. But Granados hasn't fought since February, right? And he's like one of those guys where you don't really want to fight him unless you have to. Kind of like a Felix Diaz, another person Granados fought. Felix Diaz is the type of guy you don't really want to fight unless you have to. Reason being is because they're tricky fights. They're not going to give you these great nefarious pay-per-view type of viewerships or paydays. You know what I mean? And it's just a tricky style, and it seems like no one seems to do good. Even though Terrence Crawford, he's just exceptional. But Terrence Crawford did good versus Felix Diaz. But other guys like Lamont Peterson, they didn't, you know what I mean, didn't have their best performance against him. So I put Adrian Granados in that same vein. Like, it's hard to beat him cleanly where you just dog him because he has tremendous heart. But I think Shawn Porter is going to be able to get it together. I think he's probably one of the most well-conditioned athletes in the sport, definitely in the welterweight division. He's just very rigorous training, things like that, and I think he's just overall going to be stronger than Granados. You know what I mean? Fighting Broner and holding your own with Broner, I thought Broner beat Granados. I thought it was close, but Broner with the fractured hand was able to beat Granados. You know what I mean? I think Granados lacked some ability to adjust in that fight because I thought he looked good early. You know what I'm saying? he was on his toes and he was boxing Broner using his height. He has a freakishly long arms for his size. But as the mid rounds to late rounds went on, he kind of let Broner back into the fight, and Broner made some adjustments. So I just overall feel Shawn Porter is going to make the proper adjustments. He knows what's at stake. He's gunning for the Danny Garcias, the Keith Thurmans of the world, and stuff like that. And he still took the fight. So to me, that shows a level of confidence. Shawn Porter is ready to fight, because he could have just sat on the sidelines and been like, yo, I'm waiting until 2018. My money's cool. And I heard Shawn Porter is he's very, I don't know the word, thrifty. Like, he saves his money well. You know what I mean? Things like that. So he could have clearly sat on the sideline just waiting for a big fight, trying to get Danny Garcia or something like that, or Keith Thurman. But he chose this fight. He chose to actually participate in this fight. So I think he knows what he's up against. He knows what Granados brings to the table. And I think overall, Shawn Porter is going to be probably too rugged for Adrian Granados, who has been knocked down by like the Amir Moms, even though he came back to win that fight. Shawn Porter is just a tough customer. He's the way he pressures you, he doesn't really give you much time to think. And like I said, out of his 2 losses, nobody's really dogged him. Like, Kell Brook was working behind the jab, but Kell Brook's an extremely big welterweight, and I think Granados is strong, but I don't think he's Kell Brook strong. I think Kell Brook has more punching power. Keith Thurman has more punching power than Granados, things like that. And they had issue kind of taming the bull. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think Granados would have to box kind of like the perfect fight to deter Shawn Porter for 12 rounds straight. You know what I mean? And stop that and tame him. You know what I mean? I just think overall Shawn Porter, he's just, like I said, he knows who he's up against. He's been more active. Granados ain't fought since February. So I'm leaning towards Shawn Porter. I want to know what you guys think. Who are you picking? Does Adrian Granados have a major shot to upset? Because I think Shawn Porter's a favorite, so I'm gonna call it an upset. Does he have what it takes to upset Shawn Porter? You could argue that Shawn Porter, oh, he got knocked down by Adrian Broner, but for me, the thing I think about with that is no excuses, but it's easy to fall in that trap because he was pretty much dominating Broner, and he beat Broner for the first 11 rounds. And Broner still has speed, and I think he underestimated him in that final round, and Broner just caught him with a beautiful check left hook, I think it was, and just rap, and then he went down. You know what I'm saying? So I think that came more so because he didn't expect that from Broner, given how the fight was going, the ebb and flow. How could you expect that when you've done whatever you want? Broner was clinching excessively and didn't really seem to have a game plan. So I think he got caught. But up against Granados, he knows Granados is tough. He's probably seen Granados' best fights, the fights with Felix Diaz and Broner and stuff like that. So he knew what he was up against, and he still took the fight when he really didn't have to, when he could have sat on the sideline. So I'm rocking with Shawn Porter. I want to know who you're picking. If you are picking Adrian Granados, tell me, how does he win? How does he tame Shawn Porter? This, I believe, is a 12-rounder because I think they're fighting for the WBC silver. So it should be a good fight nonetheless. I would say Porter via decision, but I don't think a TKO is out of the question. But it might be a situation where I think Granados sometimes gets cut. It might be a situation like that where it's like a forced TKO stoppage, and Granados is complaining to the ref like he wanted to keep going, things like that. But I don't think a TKO is out of the question. Overall, I think Shawn Porter, just more experience at the higher weight. As an amateur, he fought at 165, and as a pro, he's fought and held his own against pretty much current or former champions like Kell Brook. Just lost to Errol Spence earlier this year, but he was a champion. And Kell Brook, and you got to give it up to Kell Brook, because Kell Brook went up 2 weight divisions and gave Golovkin some fits, which if it was a lesser fighter than Kell Brook, it wouldn't have gave Golovkin any fits at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you just put like Paulie Malignaggi or something, no disrespect to Paulie, but if you put Paulie Malignaggi and move him from welterweight all the way up to middleweight with Golovkin would run through that because he wouldn't have enough to respect from Paulie Malignaggi. You know what I'm saying? So Kell Brook, I think, is a really strong fighter, and Porter made that close. The Keith Thurman fight could have went either way. I had Thurman winning personally, right? But a lot of people had Porter winning. They booed Thurman. So You know what I mean? Nonetheless, it was a close fight, and he held his own, and he took punches from guys who I think are bigger punches. So I just don't know what Adrian Granados is gonna do. I just don't know what Adrian Granados' identity is. Is he gonna box? Is he gonna brawl? Is he gonna try to mix it up? Like I just haven't seen more of enough of an identity from Granados in some of his fights. Shawn Porter, you know what he brings each and every time. Let me know what you guys think. Ego Durden, who wins, Granados or Shawn Porter? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.